Thank you. Let me start by saying leadership is about ability, it's about availability, it's about authority and accountability. And I must admit, Laikipia need fresh air. I can say truthfully, Laikipian politics, if you look at the lives of our people, 54 years after independence, if you look at the level of unemployment, if you look at the farmers who go every year, hope-free, they plant, and rarely do they harvest. If you look at the business environment, that despite the huge potential that Laikipia is, because if there is one county that is endowed, that is so blessed, it is this county of Laikipia. But despite the potential, despite the wealth, despite the natural resources that we have, our people are living like paupers. Our people are living in pain and in shame. I represent a new generation in Laikipia, a man born in Laikipia from very humble beginnings. I was born in the Majengo, the slum, the ghetto of Nanyuki. I have known what it is to suffer lack, to sleep hungry. But today, God has helped me and exalted me. For me, it's a payback time. I refuse to believe that with the potential that we have in Laikipia, our people should continue living the way they live. So what I intend to do, John, is to harness and to use the international experience, the national experience that I have acquired over the years, the training, all those, so that we can unleash the potential that Laikipia is. We're surrounded by 7 counties. You know, if you set an industry, a cottage industry in Nanyuki, 45 minutes, you access Isiolo, you access Meru, you access Nyeri. The same story can be repeated in Nyahururu. I must admit that what we have is artificial. Poverty in Laikipia is man-made. It's artificial. It should not be the way it is. And so I bring in fresh air in a stinking condition. I must say the political environment is stinking and needs freshness. And that's what I represent.
Well, that's been expressed very... Thank you. Thank you. It's been expressed very powerfully. But I wish to go back before we agreed that we'll have a little break and see whether we're happy with the way things are going. Let's pursue this idea of devolved government under a new constitution being a new experience for us Kenyans. Now, when I came to Nanyuki on Saturday, in the nation there was a spread on the achievements of Nanyuki as a county. And what struck me is that we Kenyans seem to be encouraging a cult of the personality. Every single picture showed the governor giving largesse to a group of women, opening a dam, opening a school. There was no reference to a team. Now, we've heard a deputy governor saying that your activities were in a sense stifled. Are you saying that as individuals, without naming your team, without naming your cohorts, without saying who in your government is going to be responsible for, say, education or health, that just by your mere individual presence, you are going to transform the fortunes of this county? What would you be that extreme say? Are you the saviors of Laikipia County, self-proclaimed?
No, I don't think.
Yeah, you go first.
I don't think that's what we are. Certainly, that's not what I'm suggesting. A leader is like a coach. A leader is putting together a team.
Yes.
A team that can deliver, and in very real sense.
Sorry, but before you continue, I'm saying, maybe my English is faulty. Do we have any idea? Do we have any idea of the kind of team, the political statement, the political speak is to say, the team, the team, the team. If I were to ask you, how much have you thought beyond yourselves in terms of offering leadership? What would you say to that?
I would say 4 things, John. First and foremost, we are going to see a Laikipia government that is inclusive And I want to state here, and I know, John, it is not in polite company, we like to think we are not tribal, but there are very serious tribal cleavages in Kenya. Now, Laikipia is home to nearly 20 or 21 of Kenya's communities. And what you're going to see is a leadership, is a government that is inclusive of Laikipia North, that is inclusive of all communities that live here. That's what you can expect from me. You ask me a team, and yes, a governor is not the daily doer. A governor must have CECs who are competent, not just competent, who are themselves leaders, who are able to marshal a department. A governor must have chief...
I'm sorry. Are you saying that when your big moment comes, you will offer the CECs without blemish? Or are you saying that as you go into the election, you will let the informed electorate, have some idea of what your government is meant to comprise?
I think that, certainly, I will say beforehand what departments, what I expect, what structure of...
We're losing battery.
And I'm happy. Let me try Manikis. What departments will you expect, and so on. So this will be known ahead of time. What will be the structure of my government? And I'm saying in terms of the character, you will expect the full face of Laikipia to be represented in that government, because that is actually the correct thing to happen. But as governor...
The wonderful American statement, the takeaway from your intervention is that before the elections, you will give some idea of who else is to feature in your team.
The structure of government will be known, and before elections, John, you will know without a doubt who my running mate is going to be. And as I said already, you expect to see a government that represents the full face of Laikipia. The buck, of course, must stop at the CEO's desk. So a governor, as governor, I must step up and take responsibility for my team.
Would other people come back on this particular topic of the announcement of the
Yes, thank you. It's important to note that by offering our candidature as governors, it does not mean that we are now the custodians of knowledge and wisdom. What we are doing is offering ourselves to provide that leadership, that platform, and bring public participation so that we all can work together and make Laikipia a better place. What I'm saying is that we must appoint people in every docket who are competent, and then give them the leeway to perform and deliver on the promises that you politiced with so that you become governor. What I want to say here now is that as a county government, once I become governor of Laikipia County, I am proud to say that I have had the experience of learning how to run a county government. This is a new outfit. We have gone through numerous training. So for me, obviously, there won't be any guesswork. It will be very easy to form government and do what we have to do and provide the leadership and the platform of engagement so that you can be able to deliver. Let me give you an example, Bwana John CB.
No, sorry. Please allow somebody else for the time being. James, if you would. Would you like to comment on this?
Yeah. I have had a singular privilege of visiting every corner of Laikipia the last few months and engaging with people from Laikipia, in Nairobi, in Nanyuki, in the major towns. And I can confirm Laikipia is endowed, is blessed with technocrats, with the technically able people, almost every sector. And this is my desire. I want to be surrounded by men and women, first, who are technical, who have zero tolerance to corruption, who have zero tolerance to mediocrity, men and women who prioritize public service. And this is my motto and philosophy, that serving humanity is the excellent way of worshiping God. So I'm here to say, Laikipia is not short of these men and women. I want men and women who know more than I do, so that I'm a coach who puts together a team that can deliver what we have promised to the people of Laikipia. And John, yes, I've made very significant steps in that pursuit. I've already seen individuals from every corner of Laikipia. If you're looking for Masais, we do have them. If you're looking for Turkanas, we have them. If you're looking for guys from the east and the west and the north, we have these people in Laikipia. And that's why I have already been speaking to several of them, so that when September comes, we're not wasting time. It's go from day one.
I think I find it very strange that every single person on this panel is Kikuyu. Every single person on this panel belongs to the Jubilee Alliance. And you are saying that somehow, through great largesse of spirit, you're going to bring in a Maasai, a Turkana, which suggests to me that these communities are already so marginalized that they will have no traffic with real power themselves for a generation. Am I hearing it all wrong?
Very good question, John.
Yes.
My government will be founded on 4 pillars.
Yeah.
Pillar number 1 is excellent, efficient, effective leadership and governance that decentralizes decision making. We want to devolve from...
The idea of what your government is going to do, I think we agreed, is another segment of our conversation.
That's where I'm going.
But let's come to that segment. I would like you to answer my specific question. Is the exercise of power a right to the Kikuyu community in Laikipia?
Thank you, John. That's why I wanted to mention the 4 pillars, but the pillar number 3, I believe I'll have an opportunity.
Yeah, you will.
Is what I call peaceful coexistence.
Yes.
An appreciation and acknowledgement that Laikipia belongs not only to Kikuyus or Pokot. We represent the face of this nation.
Right.
And that's what I will be promoting very intentionally.
Right.
Thank you, John. I think let's go through this process again. If you realize that we, the governor of Laikipia County, is the CEO of the county. And one of the things that we must ensure is that he has a NEPO team.
Sorry, just 1 second. Sorry. When we haven't had enough, gentlemen, where sorry for this slight interruption. It happens everywhere in the world.
John, I was about taking you through this process of running a county. You see, the governor is the CEO of the county, and he needs a competent cabinet. Now, how you choose or how you arrive at that cabinet is a matter that should not be done under the table during the night. I think for me, I would want as a governor to ensure that I am able to advertise for Laikipians to apply to be cabinet ministers, to be permanent secretaries, or to be chief officers. And therefore, that process becomes transparent. We have regional balance, we have ethnic balance, because at the end of the day, my role is only to guide the team. And remember, we are already discussing, and we've done a lot, we've covered enough ground to be able to identify a running mate. So far, we have interviewed 4 interested persons, and we are continuing. But we believe that before long, we'll be able to announce who is our teammate. Because at the end of the day, they are the skills that I possess, they are the skills that my colleague possesses, and that combination of a mix is what will deliver Laikipia forward. And again, at the end of the day, once the cabinet is in place, it is not only just technocrats who are required, you also require politicians. Because at the end of the day, we're exercising power in a political environment. So you need a mix of both, so that at the end of the day, you deliver a winning team. And that's what we're looking for.
Right. Gentlemen, sorry, you wanted to...
Yes, I wanted to chime in and say, no, the exercise of political power in Laikipia, even now, is not a preserve of Kikuyu. If you look at, say, the members of parliament for Laikipia County, you will see that they are, it's about half and half. Out of 5 MPs, 2 are non-Kikuyus. So I don't think you could really, on fact, say that, having admitted to this, of course, the Kikuyu are a slight majority across the county, and perhaps that explains why many of the contenders here but perhaps there are others who did not come. I think that what we require is leadership that knows the issue and works to solve the issue. Now, we have come from a history of communities being suspicious of each other. We've come from a history of conflict between communities, and what we need is leadership that knows that problem and seeks and sets out to solve it. And whereas the person with the mandate is obviously the governor and they make the appointments, but they must make those appointments on the basis of recognizing the community of Laikipia and therefore bringing everybody to the table.
Just one little thing.
Yes, do.
Kikuyus don't have the prerogative of leadership. But I want to mention here that they have the bigger share of the population. However, much as we have Turkanas as marginalized, the Maa community as marginalized, you will find every so often a community like the Turkana providing an engineer, a doctor. They may not be as many, but they definitely are competent people in all these sectors of our population. And we shall make sure, true to the Constitution, that the leadership must have the face of this Laikipia, and the face of Laikipia is diversity. So we must have technocrats from every community as per the Constitution.
Just a quick one, John.
Yes, do.
You realize that our Constitution allows to have affirmative action. And for the first time, we are looking at a government, a county government of Laikipia, where we will have people living with disability serving right at the top organ of the cabinet of this government, so that we have representation. I think we have a scenario in Laikipia where the four gentlemen, though they are from the Kikuyu community, it is not by design. It is just that they have offered themselves for leadership. And we welcome others. But that doesn't mean that the government we form will exclude other communities.
Right, understood. Now, before I prevail upon Jata TV to arrange to give us perhaps a 5-minute break so that we can recoup some energy, I want to ask the last question so that as this segment, if everybody decides to walk out, not return because it's all been too boring, the question I'm going to ask has to do with, and we were aware of this from the outset, we're finishing this segment by saying, when you have, as governor, your X number of years at the helm, instead of making a blanket mishmash of resolutions, cross-cutting in agriculture, roads, what is the one thing, what is the one priority area? And they could be the same for all of you. What is the one priority area that you would say will define your legacy? And is it so complicated that you can't explain it in a few words? So, priority area and how. So that we forgive you for not paving all the roads, we forgive you, but you said, under my wise leadership, there'll be tarmac roads on every single road in Laikipia, and I give you my pledge, so help me God. You go first.
Thank you, John. I think for me, as governor of Laikipia County, one of the legacies that I would want to leave behind is education sector. And my idea of how we uplift the education center standards in this county is that we all know that less than 50% of Laikipians are literate. So there's a lot of work to be done. One of them is to ensure that the ECD program is free from January 2018. No child over 3 years of age should remain home without attending school. We also want to ensure that the infrastructure in our primary schools, in our secondary schools, and in our vocational centers is properly upgraded. The curriculum is aligned, especially in the vocational center, and also ensure that we provide education fund, a composite fund that ensures that you're either accessing an education loan, you're either accessing partial scholarship, or you're either accessing a full scholarship. We also have people living with disability. We will ensure that any student from that sector goes through a full scholarship in education. And we also are planning to ensure that retention is maintained by ensuring that we have a feeding program. And lastly, to also ensure that we have a special program for putting up special schools, especially in secondary school, so that the transition rate from one level to another is near 100%. If I could do that, besides other things, the roads, the health, I feel satisfied that I've done a service to my community and Laikipia.
Yep. Create jobs is what we are going to do. And we have a target, 30,000 jobs that we are going to create. As to your question of how, assist businesses. In this Laikipia right now, there are 68,000, we did a survey last year, 68,000 small businesses. Support these businesses, stop harassing them with unnecessary taxation and so on. Assist them with finance, with access to markets. Assist them to grow. And if you do so, you will create 30,000 jobs. That, of course, other things, but you asked me for one, and the one legacy I'd like to see by the end of 5 years is that we'll have created 30,000 jobs, additional jobs in Laikipia. Thank you.
I will focus on wealth creation at household level, and we will do that by, number one, modernizing agriculture. A large percentage of the people in Laikipia are farmers, and therefore we want to make sure that we win them from lane-fed agriculture. We will bring technology, we'll bring value chain, we'll connect them to national and international markets. That's what I've been doing for other countries. And additionally, we will promote cottage industries. Governments exist to create conducive environment for private sector to thrive. I'm looking forward to working very closely with the private sector so that we have cottage industries in every major town in Laikipia, where we can actually say, buy Laikipia and build Laikipia. We have some of the best leather. Why should we be buying shoes from China? We have our farmers who grow tomato. Why should we have tomato sauce from Nairobi and outside the country? We have farmers in Kanyoni whose potatoes are rotting, and yet you go to our hotels, the potato crisps that are being used there is from South Africa, is from Nairobi and elsewhere. So intentionally would improve the business environment so that we create jobs. But the focus is create wealth, unleash the potential that Laikipia is, so that everybody proudly call Laikipia our home. But again, we cannot say that there is economic transformation if it is not felt at household level. And that's why we will be measuring our success by how many households are able to take their kids to school, to put food on the table, to live decent life, to access medical facilities when needed.
Thank you. Just before you go, sorry, no clapping, please. No, stick to plan A. If I may just remind my producer that we do want to queue out for a 5-minute break, which you assured us, just to get our energies back. So please arrange that. But Itonga.
Thank you, John. I think we'll all agree that anybody who has been in Laikipia long enough, like I have done, having been born here, the number one priority for Laikipia is water. The reason why my key focus, if I was to do nothing else, is to provide water. Because water is an enabler. Water is the reason why towns grow. The reason why Nanyuki is situated where it's situated is because we have Nanyuki River. The reason why Nairobi is where it is because we have Nairobi River. The reason why Nyahururu is because we have the river at Nyahururu. Water drives industry. Water drives agriculture. Water drives livestock production. Water drives everything. You cannot create jobs in this county if you don't provide the mwananchi of Laikipia with water. If you go to places like Laikipia North, there are people who walk 12, 13 kilometers in search of water. Water affects the way our students perform, because if a child has to first fetch water in the morning to carry to school and fetch water in the evening, definitely you cannot expect that child to compete with a normal child. 80% of our diseases in our hospitals are communicable diseases that can be eliminated simply by having water. Industry hides. Industry, whatever you want to manufacture, you need water. Essentially, if you give Laikipia people water, and I have gone around this county, our Laikipians are hard-working Kenyans. The only thing they lack, they have land, they have energy, they have the willpower, but they lack the water to drive this economy. If I was to do nothing else, and I provide water for Laikipians, I know for a fact that we shall have over 200,000 Laikipians employing themselves because they can grow tomatoes, they can grow cabbages, they can feed this country based on water. So water is number one priority.
John, can I make a comment and support what you're saying?
Yes, do.
Just recently, the county government of Laikipia provided thousands and thousands of water storage facilities, 2,000 liters, and they have done that in many parts of Laikipia. In my computation and calculation, the money that this government have used in buying these small tanks, it's enough to provide to the people of Laikipia hundreds and hundreds of boreholes. And that will mean if we provide water at village level, at the moment, when we provide the water tank or we provide the water storage, unfortunately, the problem that we have is not just water storage, it's water access. So I support what you're saying, and I've done it in several other countries where we own our own drilling rigs, so that day and night we are drilling boreholes. And that's part of wealth creation, to target the 70% plus residents who stay in this, who call Laikipia their home.
You notice that he mentioned
Gosh,
government.
it's the young people. I was a school teacher for 30 years. Tafadhali, please don't clap. It's a simple instruction.
Thank you very much for noting that we provided tanks. But allow me to say, I was obviously totally opposed to the issue of providing tanks. My idea of providing water is to harness the rainfall water that we have. Anybody who is an agriculture and a seasoned agriculture would know that the rainfall we receive in Laikipia is enough for any cash crop that we can get into. It is important to know that we are in a very interesting catchment area. I will give you an example of Mohoateto catchment area. It has 13 natural springs. It has 12 dams that need to be desilted so that the whole people of Mohoateto can get into serious agriculture. We can actually buy 5 rigs and dig boreholes to a tune of about 400 in one government calendar of 5 years. So water is truly the true enabler for this country. Fortunately, I'm a water engineer. I don't need to look too far to do this thing. Thank you.
One of the things that's coming through from this first segment, which is again a take from debating generally, is that these gentlemen here on the platform don't necessarily disagree on everything. It doesn't have to be a confrontational. Therefore, you as voters have to dig deeper into your listening to their rallies, because we are agreed. Nobody's disagreed that we don't want water. Nobody's disagreed that we want to create jobs. And I think that's a takeaway from our conversation. They haven't sort of slung fisticuffs at each other. They've complemented each other's views. So we're watching from our little banner at the back here. It's the 12th of March 2017, and you are watching the first ever televised debate. It's the Laikipia Gubernatorial debate, sponsored by the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we'll be back after a short break.